What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in on today's video. I'm Gabe, and today I'm going to be talking in depth about my brand new 5th generation Recaro seats. And there is a lot of things to talk about with these seats. For starters, these are seats that I've wanted for a very long time. My most recent video, I actually showed you guys and revealed that I had purchased these seats, and I also show you guys how to install the seats. So if you guys want to check that video out, link in the description below or cards above. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some details on these seats. So these seats are a result of a partnership that extends well over 40 years, dating back to the 1980s. General Motors and Recaro have partnered since then. In fact, that partnership is still alive and well today, being offered on the 6th generation Camaro and even in the Cadillacs and other models and other cars. This was only made available for the 14 and 15, or the post refresh, or the 5.5 gen, and this was only made available for the SS, the Z28, and the ZL1. For the ZL1 and the SS, they were options, but for the Z28, they were standard. So that is the context behind Recaro and why they are on some General Motor vehicles like the Camaro. If we take a look at the actual design of these seats, you can undoubtedly say that these are track and sport focused compared to the regular seats. Those look more of like a cruiser or more grand tour. I know that's more of a European thing, but you know, something that can go on long drives, but not necessarily the most optimal choice of seats in design for, say, cornering or extreme performance driving. Another reason why I absolutely love these seats for the exterior design is the fact that they include Alcantara, which really gives it that really high-end luxury performance sports car feel. And in my case, it matches perfectly with the suede center console lid here and the suede Alcantara shifter that I have. It just matches really nicely. But let's be honest, the point of these seats is not really to look really good. I mean, they do a great job at doing that, but the real purpose of these seats is to really improve the driver lateral support, just for enhancing the driver experience when it comes to cornering. I mean, it's very clearly visible with these seats compared to the stock ones, particularly right here in the shoulder guards or the shoulder placement, actually in 3 sections here. So first one being most noticeable, which is not really available for the standard seats. The holsters up here for the shoulders, for me, don't bother me at all, but they're enough to actually give me that support when I'm turning, which we'll go over in a moment here. The second holster is actually right here, which is more of your waist. That is available for the standard. You gotta have it. But this one just feels a little bit more defined, a little bit stiffer. The other one feels a lot more plushy. And of course, the third and final holster that is, again, somewhat available for the regular seats, but really pronounced on these Recaro seats, is down here for your leg. I mean, this is really stiff compared to the factory or standard design. These are just extremely stiff and they feel excellent. Again, I don't really have really big legs, or just, I'm not, you know, just big in general, so these fit perfect for me. I haven't really said it, but these are technically bucket seats. These are sport bucket seats, and aside from providing as much lateral support possible, they also grant the access for 4-point or 5-point harnesses or seat belts here. So you have these little inserts here that'll obviously allow for the seat belts to pass through. All right, guys, so let's just say that you're sold on the idea of owning Recaro seats because of the look or because of the different features and functions of it. Well, it's not as easy as just ordering it, because these are no longer being made, because the 5th generation is not being made. Brand new, these were spec'd out, I believe, anywhere from $1995, call it $2,000 to $2,200, depends on the dealers. So you're probably gonna have to resort to finding them on eBay or OfferUp or any of these places to buy used products. These are actually very rare in themselves. Not many people spec them out, or not many people order them or option them. And again, the Z28, these came standard, so not many Z28s were produced, period. So when I saw them pop up on eBay, I just knew I had to hop on it. So Let's talk a little bit about used prices online. They can be as cheap as $2,800, and I've seen them go up as to $6,000. I mean, there's a pretty big margin or spread in between there. I actually paid about $3,500 in total. So you guys might be asking yourself, what's the installation process like? It is extremely easy. In fact, it's so easy that it is plug and play for most models. Again, I do have a video card above, link in the description below, where you guys can see the installation process once you decide to purchase the seats, and just for you guys understanding and knowledge. But if you have a 2010 Camaro SS, beware, because these are plug and play, meaning that the motor function will work. If you had heated seats, they will work as well. But there is an airbag sensor that's going to stay on, and that light will not go away. You cannot code it out. The only way to remedy that is to actually swap out or splice or go through this process of basically creating a Seekenstein or Frankenstein version of basically your seats. And honestly, I don't really plan on changing that out just yet, because if I do decide to sell these seats, when I decide to get a newer car or a newer model, we'll see what the future holds, guys. But if I decide to sell it, I don't really want to go through the process of having to just switch it out again. I would rather just deal with it. It's just a light. Folks, before we start driving, this is what I meant by the airbag sensor light. So that'll pop right up. I hit the menu button and it goes away. But there's the light. That's for my O2 sensors. That's something different. All right, guys, so we're done talking about the boring stuff, the money, the cost, the look of it, what I thought about it, some of the features that it has, and the differences between the regular seats and this. Let's talk a little bit about practicality and actual performance usage now. So first thing I want to address is, how does it feel and how does it look like to get in? Well, step outside here. Because of these holsters here, it's gonna make it a little bit more difficult than the regular seats to get inside. So when I get in, I actually get in butt first, so I actually don't slide and wrinkle this even more, which these are, you know, I bought them like this. But once you get inside, it feels good and it feels just right. Now, in terms of seating position and visibility, for me, in my specific situation, I think my old seats were broken. So like the motor wouldn't prevent me from actually raising my seat up and lifting up the actual seat for my legs. So for me, I actually have a significant amount more visibility. I'm not sure if it would actually improve for anybody else buying these, but again, visibility has always been kind of, you know, crappy for the Camaro, but for me, it improved it drastically. To really feel how when you start applying that pressure on the corners, start picking up some G's, you start to really get that feeling like, hey, I'm here, don't worry, you can do it. Not as hard as, say, you know, Porsche bucket seats or pure carbon fiber seats. They're a lot more comfortable, and because I think that they are somewhat of a comfort slash sport utility, they are quite heavier or slightly heavier than the factory seats. So if you're looking to buy these to save weight, don't, because they're not lighter, but they are very comfortable. I mean, I really want to emphasize that is really comfortable. The only difference is I feel where it would really present any sort of discomfort is going to be in the holsters here. That's pretty much the only places that I can really fathom any arguments being created on whether or not these are just uncomfortable. I imagine for somebody that is slightly bigger or wider rather than me, especially in the shoulder area, I can see how these can get really, really uncomfortable for anybody that is like, say, a bodybuilder, or is just somebody that has really broad shoulders, because right here at the corners here, it's kind of, right here on the corner, it kind of like pokes out. So anybody that has broader shoulders would kind of go like this. So I can see how that applies some pressure and it becomes really uncomfortable. But you know, the average person is not a bodybuilder. The average person doesn't have extremely broad shoulders. So this should suffice and this should be fairly comfortable for you. Now, one thing that I also want to make a comment on is the fact that these are, again, fitted with Alcantara. So Alcantara does have a issue with the maintenance, right? These have stains in them because I don't know what the previous owner was doing with it, but they can get very tedious with the upkeep. So I would not recommend it if you're looking to have something that is not of a headache in terms of maintenance, but the stains would have to get professionally detailed. I'm gonna get some corners in a little bit here, but for just street driving and day-to-day driving and not really performance-oriented driving, they do a really good job. So another thing that I would like to point out in practicality is that these seats are, again, really sport-oriented before any sort of luxury or convenience. So they don't actually have any pockets in the back seats for you to store anything. Not that that really matters anyway. At least for me, it was kind of like a letdown because I usually put like my detailing products and my microfiber towels in there. The real places that you're gonna realize and appreciate these seats is up in the shoulders. The holsters, I mean, this is really quite familiar to me. The legs, a little bit, but you really just feel it more up here. This is gonna be for somebody that, again, wants entry-level experience with track, somebody that wants to have like that shoulder or lateral support, but at the same time, you know, doesn't want to necessarily compromise the comfort part of it, because again, this is extremely comfortable for what it is. Well guys, there you have it. There is an overview of the Recaro seats for the 5th generation Camaro SS, ZL1 and Z28. I absolutely, again, love these seats overall. Again, there are probably better options out there for comfort and for sport, but really for the price, these are not that bad, and these are, again, OEM style, which is something that I really appreciate and I really wanted for this car. And overall, it's an easy installation, not difficult at all, no custom brackets or anything in that nature. Plug and play, well, to a certain extent, right? So guys, if you found this video informative and entertaining, go ahead and give it a like. It helps out tremendously with the algorithm. Guys, if you enjoy my content overall, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And last but not least, guys, do not forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos, my reviews, my vlogs, my how-tos, my etc. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.